Can you help us understand what a CISM team is and what they do, and how that differs from a peer support team and what they do?
That critical incident stress management, that debriefing or the diffusion concept, these are with trained personnel. And most people will go through the ICISF, that International Critical Incident Stress Foundation training. That's more of design for, all right, we're going to go in and we're going to have a debrief and diffusion on a critical incident that maybe first responders were involved with. And a lot of the message and a lot of the training over the years, even when the CISM teams were very early on, it was peer driven. Even the creators of those organizations were a first responder background that said, how do we do a better job of having peers do a critical incident stress debriefing? That is the core, the base of this, if you will. But now having additional programs that talk about now the peer element, it really goes back to finding that trusted brother or sister within your organization or within the field that may have a little additional training. And that's one of the things that looks at is now when they have that training, knowing what to do with it. Now, you and I could sit down as two peers. We can sit on the tailboard of the rig. We can work that correction shift and maybe talk in the parking lot before we go home. I think a lot about our dispatchers and the lack of downtime they have between calls, whereas peers, they might be able to look at you and says, holy crap, that was a heck of a call. And they have that communication versus it's not a formulated debriefing or diffusion at the end of the shift. So sometimes the peer component can be more of your day-to-day activities. And I don't always want to say large scale events because I don't always think that's the right way to look at that, but maybe having a call for service by a peer driven team that can do a
Yeah.
critical incident stress debriefing.